Coming up on this episode of Trash Pandas All Access.
We're out here about 6 o'clock or 6:30 right now, which is game time. You'll notice that our entire crowd is in the shade.
I get choked up already. I blame it on the dust on a day like this, but it's very emotional.
Ralph, I think he's a great person. I remember the first time I met him was in my office. He come in there and first thing out of his mouth, he says, I may come out here on a Saturday, but I'm coming out here to be with my dad. And that was really heartwarming to me.
For thousands of years, spectators have been gathering at sports stadiums to watch in awe as athletes compete in the center of architectural beauty. From the Colosseum of ancient Rome to the Bird's Nest Olympic Stadium in modern China, from Cowboys Stadium in Dallas to Fenway Park in Boston, the stadium and the athletes who've performed there have always been the pride of the local community. Although much has changed in the technology that goes into these stadiums, one thing remains clear. When humans want to see extraordinary people pushing their physical limits for the purpose of competition, they want to do that in a building that is equally astonishing. With the construction of the new Rocket City Trash Pandas Stadium well underway, you can see that Madison, Alabama will soon be home to a stadium that will be the envy of minor league baseball and the pride of the Tennessee Valley.
I built a ballpark in 1991 in Scottsdale, Arizona. I worked with a young architect by the name of David Bauer. And then here we go, all these almost 30 years later, and I gave David Bauer a call and I said, I think we're going to build a ballpark in North Alabama, and I'd like you. And Dave was now with Populous. He was with HOK at the time. But in any event, and so he had enough faith in me that this was going to actually happen that he flew this big crew of guys down to Atlanta. And we had this big meeting in Atlanta at Jeff Fuquay's office with the Breland people, the city people, the Fuqua people, the Populace. And basically they had it on the table, they had a big old aerial photo of town Madison, the land. So that's all it was land. And we started talking about the ballpark and where the best place to put it would be and what it should look like and those types of things. And all of a sudden they took this piece of tissue paper and they laid it on top of that aerial shot. And these two guys, Brian Smith and Mike Sabatini, started drawing. And I actually have, when they started drawing, I actually have a photograph that Emo took on my office wall. And it was that moment. And I'm telling you, Mojo, they drew it out, the direction and the way it was going to look and all that. And I am telling you that on that first 5 minutes, they laid out something that was so close to where we are right now, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, there are lots of meetings. I'll tell you one of the fascinating things, they have a computer program you can plug in any time, any date, any time in the future, and it will show you where the sun is at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, so that they would face the ballpark the right ways. And if you look at our ballpark now, and it was because of that program.
Charles Luther Black.
Charles Luther Black. And what is your title?
I'm the senior superintendent. I'm over the whole project.
What is your baseball background? You have baseball background?
Oh yeah, I played baseball through Little League, Pony League, in high school. It's the only sport I ever played.
All right, so what does it feel like now to be supervising this?
Oh, I enjoy it. I enjoy anything other than, the same old thing. This is always something different out here. And I've done several projects where, there's specific specialty projects, and I enjoy doing this stuff.
Well, okay, so when you come out here, you've been out here probably since December as well?
I got here in October.
In October? And what was that like first time you came out here? What were your thoughts?
Just trying to get my feet down, figure out where I was going to start. I mean, it was my first project, building a baseball field, and just knowing how I was going to put it together and build it and finish it on time. You'll have a basic schedule, building schedule, blueprints, and you try to manage that and adjust that schedule accordingly the way you want to build that project.
How many people do you have working for you?
Right now I've got 2 assistants. I've got Michael, which is an assistant project manager, and I have 2 carpenters that work for me.
And subcontractors?
Subcontractors, we've got, I think there's 11 subcontractors on site right now.
That's 11
different trades.
Different trades?
Yeah,
How many people?
probably, we're running anywhere from 150 to 160 people a week.
And how are you doing as far as time-wise? What's it?
We're doing good. We're tracking schedule pretty good.
We're, as of right now today, how far are we from seeing a field?
We start the ball field itself July the 22nd. So you're looking at mid-October, you should start seeing green grass.
What's your favorite part about this whole project?
Just working with the people I'm working with, and the owners and City of Madison. Everybody's been a great team out here as far as working, and just I feel like I'm helping build a dream.
That's absolutely, I believe that too, and we can see it coming forward.
Yeah.
What's it going to be like, you think, when this is all done? I assume you're coming back.
Oh yeah, I'm coming back. I got to, just to see it. But I think it'll go over good. I really do. I mean, I went to the uniform reveal. I couldn't believe the turnout at that thing. I think it's going to be a positive image for this part of town.
Can you give me one really good story that people might find interesting about this build, or the people that you work with?
A project like this, with 160 people on it, you got new adventures every day because, my big thing is keeping people safe, making sure they go home with the same amount of fingers and toes and not broke bones as they come with today, and that's what I try to strive on and push people to understand, and it's a very big challenge as far as keeping people envisioned on what they're doing and how to do it safely.
What's it like working for Horror?
I've been with Horror 36 years. We'll be 36 years in November, and never have looked for another company. That's how good they've treated me.
And how has I know you see Ralph a lot.
Yeah.
How's Ralph treating
Love him to death.
I love it, man. I love it. Give me a full name.
Michael Thomas Raymond.
Michael Thomas Raymond, you the supervisor?
No, I'm an assistant project manager for Horror.
Assistant project manager at Horror. All right, let me ask you this. When did you start working for Horror?
About a little over 2 years ago.
And what kind of projects have you been able to work on with them?
So starting out, I was more into retail, multi-use projects in Florida, and then I got the opportunity to come up here for this project, and it's been great.
So is this the first stadium project that you've been involved in?
This is the first stadium project that I have been involved in, yes. So on this project, I've been tasked with being in charge of all the submittals and RFIs, and just a brief overview of that is a submittal is anything that has been installed in this building or anything around has to be submitted to me. I have to review it, push it through to the architect. Architect reviews it, yes, no, and I push it back to the sub, and I schedule construction activities, material procurement, and anything and everything to assist our field team with day-to-day construction activities. Really, my main responsibilities are to make sure everything that we're installing is up to code and up to spec, and making sure that everybody in the field has all the proper documentation and information to be able to build this, and just making sure that there's no gap in the construction schedule.
How exciting is it to be involved with a baseball stadium?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, how could you not like it? I mean, apartments go up every day, retail places go up every day, office buildings go up every day, but baseball parks don't. And so it's a great opportunity to be a part of it. And I mean, how could you not want to be a part of it? I truly enjoy it because the big thing about construction, it's a people industry. All we do is build relationships. If you got a bad relationship with anybody, it's not going to be easy to work with them. And what's been great about this is that I'm talking to people always, and I love talking to people, and I love having new people come in. I mean, you never know who you're going to meet, being involved in a project like this.
Very cool. Now, how often do you think you'll get back here to see a game once this year?
I plan on coming at least once a year.
Yeah.
At least, yeah. I'd like to come to all of them if I can.
It sounds funny. When I left Chicago suburbs to explore new opportunities for a job, baseball had to be a component of the move. I was tired of Chicago weather, so it had to be warmer. Political climate, I wanted to be a little different. I wanted a good economic climate, good place for my boys to grow up, and it had to have baseball. When I came to Madison, I was doing economic development with the city as a consultant. So you quickly learn all the players in town, and I got to know the then GM of the club, Buck Rogers. And so we started to explore that possibility then, and met Miles Prentice and flew to New York and tried to put a deal together, and it just never came to fruition. So, jump ahead, and once you get bitten by that bug and you recognize how special this area is, I just never let it go. It's, as David likes to say, it's a startup in every sense of the word. It's whatever it takes to get jobs done, and we've done them all. I'll do the PR end of it. I'll talk to groups, but when we opened up the store, and we were there setting up the store, and then when merchandise exploded, we got pictures of. There's something funny about watching Ralph Nelson fold a T-shirt. And not so well either, but I'm in the same boat. I still, Lisa's the best at it, but we'll do whatever it takes because, like I said before, Ralph's got this vision, it's really infectious, and now you can see the finish line. So I get choked up already. I blame it on the dust on a day like this, but it's very emotional. When we did the groundbreaking, to take my boys out to the site, which was just field at the time, and I got a picture of them standing, at home plate, and then to watch all this happen, and in 282 days from this day to stand out here with these boys, very emotional day.
It's funny. Emo mentioned it. When I kind of joined this, I love startups. I've been through one. And I know what they're like, and it's nonstop. So you start at 6:30 in the morning, and you finish at 10:30 or 11, and you go from operations to finance to HR to marketing to retail. It doesn't stop. And then you've got construction, and it's fun because you keep learning. Like you learn continuously. We also, when you look at a startup, you start with a very, very small team. And so when you have a small team, you wear a lot of different hats, construction and all sorts of different things. So, I love that aspect of it. I love what we're doing because I think that when this thing is done and what it means to the community and the impact that we're going to have, it's just phenomenal. So to be a part of that, and we talked, a lot today about baseball, but, in the city of Madison and Ralph and everybody got together to do this, it wasn't just about baseball. It's this multi-use venue, and it's just, entertainment complex. So you've got these amazing baseball games, right? But then you've got, just taking. I had younger kids when the Stars were here, and you'd take them out to games and you would watch the game, and you're going to have a lot of that. But you're also going to have just a lot of people going out and having just incredible food. So when you look at our entire community, and we've grown a lot. I've been here for 12 years. Where we were 12 years ago to where we are today, there's a lot of different options, but this is still another one, and it's nothing like, it's not like any other sports complex that the community has seen, because it's going to be fun. You're going to come out, and the stat we always laugh about is, 80% of the people don't know who's playing, and 95% of the people don't know the score of the game. So it's not about baseball as much as it's about a really fun entertainment experience. So my background is 20 plus years in theater, so that's an entertainment experience. The last 7 was a startup company, Monaco Pictures, which it wasn't about the movie, it was about the movie and the restaurant and the bar and the whole entertainment experience. So the Trash Pandas, it's no different. It's the same great experience, just a different venue. So I don't know, it's very exciting, the impact that this has to the community, and to be a part of a startup, just to get a chance to build a company in a way that you think a company needs to be run, and what you can do with it. That's a rare opportunity. I'm fortunate because this is now the second time in my life where I've got to be a part of that, and it's just exciting. It's a lot of work, but it's very rewarding.
Ralph, I mean, what, I can sit here and talk to you all day. You've got so many great stories and all that other stuff, but what does this part of your venture, your life venture, what does this mean to you?
It means the world, because we imagined this thing from the ground up. I mean, as I said before, it was a blank piece of paper, and now we have this. But I'm really enjoying this part of it for a couple of reasons. I've just really come to respect Luther and Michael and all their subs and the guys on this job site, because they're used to doing hospitals and shopping centers and apartment buildings, and when they started doing this ballpark, their passion started to show. And that's not to say they don't have passion for apartment buildings, but Lisa and I took Luther and his wife Joy out to dinner one night and started talking. I didn't know Luther was such a great baseball player, and so his heart and soul's into this, which is our heart and soul's into the organization. And so it's really turned out well. When I first heard the name Hoare Construction, I didn't know them from any other company, but they were the bid that we liked and the bid that was most important for us. And so I had no idea what we were going to find out when we got out here. But the first day, Mike Price from Turner said to me, "You're going to love these guys." And I thought, and they pull this trailer up and it's a family in there, you know, Luther and his wife and his daughter and his grandkids and the dog. And somehow they all make it work because they care so much about their work.
You have a lot of trust in every one of these folks. What have you learned about them individually?
They've all become part of our family. They've all put Trash Pandas on their helmets, and all of a sudden they show up in the store buying T-shirts or whatever, and that includes all the contractors. You know what's great about the contractors? I told Emo one day, there might be a guy that's coming out here and tying rebar for one day. And he'll go home and talk to his little boy, and then they'll come to the ballpark and that little boy's gonna say, "My daddy built this ballpark." Right. And it just becomes your life. It's all consuming, and these guys share the exact same passion for the game that I do.
For everybody here, I mean, what do you guys think about working for Ralph? We'll go one at a time.
Ralph, you know, I think he's a great person. I remember the first time I met him was in my office. He come in there and, you know, and first thing out of his mouth, he says, "I may come out here on a Saturday, but I'm coming out here to be with my dad." And, you know, that was really heartwarming to me. Sorry, guys, but, you know, it meant a lot to me.
Tell me about that, your relationship with baseball and your dad.
Mm-hmm. Same thing, you know, I lost my dad in 2000 and spent a lot of time with him playing ball. And that's why I love the sport. Well, I spent a lot of time in Cincinnati back when Joe Morgan, Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, and all those guys were playing, you know. That was my ideal, to go up there, to drive to Cincinnati, and Dad would take me up to Cincinnati and we'd go watch ball games. And I loved it, just being able to spend time with him.
You know, it's an incredible opportunity. So Ralph and the group really allowed this opportunity to happen, you know, bringing baseball back here, and what this organization is going to be to the community, to North, Alabama, it's huge. And it's really, you know, we've said it before, it doesn't happen unless somebody first says, "Can we do this, and how do we do it?" And they kind of open the door to get it done, and then you build this team to actually make it happen. And really the leadership and the vision and everything about what's going to happen here, it starts with Ralph saying, "Hey, we can do this." And it's really that challenge that to keep saying, "Hey, we're going to do this bigger and better than anyone else." And so where it's easy to get caught in the weeds and you know, focus on, "Hey, I got to get this done and this done and this done," it's also Ralph can bring the vision back out and say, "Hey, don't forget what we just did. You know, what happened with season ticket sales, with merchandise sales." So it's really great to have that leader and the vision and say, this is what we're doing, because it's easy for a team to get stuck in, "We got to get this done." And I think Ralph's really great at keeping it, you know, at the high level to say, "Hey, we're doing something big here." And, right. And I think it's just going to be incredible for the community. So
the first time Ralph and I talked on the phone, we talked for 3 hours. Felt like a first date. We were
You guys been dating ever since.
we were laughing and telling stories, and obviously there was the baseball bond, and then I found out about his baseball history. And if you think about that, a lot of guys have been in the game from that level, and they might be real good at it, but not everybody has a vision. So when he first came into town, that was a lot of fun. We explored and we laughed and we ate and told stories, and the vision started to come together. And I can say it because I've been around him the longest. If it wasn't for Ralph being such an ornery guy at times, willing this project to happen, I don't think we'd be here. I think anybody else, maybe not anybody else, but a lot of people would have given up. It's the passion, it was his vision, it was his dream, and it's infectious as all that. I mean, and if you don't get caught up in it, I don't know what to tell you. It's a hell of a ride.
What do you think is going to be your favorite part of this stadium? To see, to hang out, to whatever.
Honestly, there's two spots that I really like the best. It's one here in the Stadium Club. I think this is a great view. You can't beat it. You're in the shade. It's perfect viewing for anybody out here. That, and then the rock porch for sure.
I think a lot of people are going to say the rock porch.
It is really hard to beat it from that angle of being out in right field, being above everybody, being over the playing field, depending on where you're standing at. It's just a special spot to be at. It's going to be a lot of fun up there.
Very good. David?
Man, there's like so many pieces that I never want to talk about again. Scoreboard.
Right.
It's funny. There's so many aspects of this project that you, like we were just saying, you get really deep into the planning and the coordination and back and forth, and you tend to focus on that. But really, there's nothing better when you just come out here, and if you look at the rock porch, I know it's going to be a common theme. It's so simple. It's small, and it's this cool little area, and it's not just about it's a great place to watch the game, but there's going to be this energy and feel and excitement, entertainment, and it's also very peaceful. So when you walk this project and you see all this stuff going on, and then you go stand out there and you just look, it's like, oh wow, this is
kind of like you can take it all in from that one area,
and you can just relax a little bit. And there's been some fun construction pieces of that.
I want you to get, look, here's the thing, is we're all sitting here and everybody's, all the good things. Give me one bad thing. Give me one thing that was just a hiccup in the road.
I'll tell you exactly what it was.
Okay.
And Sandy Alderson, of course, my mentor, one day I was stomping in the commissioner's office about something, and he said, you know what your problem is? And I said, what? He said, you have vision, and you get frustrated with people that don't have vision. So, I don't know, a couple months before we're going to start, we're still with the budget, we're trying to get the project down, and the city of Madison comes to me and says, you know what we'll do, we'll just cut out the rock porch. That'll save X amount of dollars. And I had a proposal on my desk to increase the size of the rock porch. And I started stamping, and Emo will tell you, and I'm screaming, and I'm about to walk out again and say, the heck with this, we'll go somewhere else, because I had the vision of what the rock porch was going to be. And every time we give a tour, the last place we go is the rock porch. And I don't know, I've given 50 tours out here, and every single person I've taken out there and stood there on the 2x4s and looked out over right field says, oh my God, this is the best seat in the house. Mm-hmm. This is absolutely the best part of the ballpark. And now you've asked two people so far what their favorite part is, and they both said the rock porch. The rock porch is going to be the most popular spot in the city of Madison. I'm telling you that, bar none. And so, yeah, I was screaming, and they were like, well, it's just, we could add it in the second year. And I'm, no. And so that's my story.
That's pretty good. For that very reason.
Well, the first one is the berm area, the right field line. The seats only go so far, and then it's a great big lawn. And that's for families. Bring a blanket. It's $8 to sit in those seats or be in that ballpark. Bring a blanket, bring a picnic, whatever it's going to take, and watch a game. And the thing you'll see is that there's not a bad seat in this house. There's not and I know that's a cliche, But I'm telling you, you go anywhere in this ballpark and you look at home plate, you can see it. It's amazing. The second part would be the picnic area. The picnic area, of course, being picnic tables where people, either groups from a company or families, can come and watch the game while they're having food at a table like this and all that. That's a great place. We've got some special things called concourse suites, which are for groups of like 25, maybe a small company that wants to bring a group out, and they're kind of partitioned off from the rest of the concourse. They get service there, they get served there. It's and again, social. You know, like I always say, 7,500 people in the park, 4,000 fixed seats. If you go back to Joe Davis Stadium, 10,000 people in the park, 10,000 fixed seats, except for the suites. But that's the way it was in the old days. Here, almost half your crowd is not going to be in a standard stadium seat. So you've got the party decks up here on the suite level. You got the Stadium Club, which is by far the most popular ticket we own, and the Stadium Club is just incredible, and the size of it and the view up here, not just of the ball field, but of Town Madison and beyond the rocket ship you can see from up here. It's a really cool place. And then the rock porch is my favorite just because it looks right over right field. The right fielder will actually be, in some cases, beneath you, underneath your feet. And you can see the entire game from there, both dugouts, both bullpens, the umpires, the field, the alignment of the outfielders and the infielders. And we have the 360-degree concourse, which means you can start at one place in the ballpark, walk around during the game, and come right back to that same place without passing anything twice. The batting cages for fans to interact with the ball players. So there's just this is going to be a park for the fans and it's going to change people's lives for sure. I can't help myself. I come out here every morning when I drive to work. I go the long way so that I can come through here, and I usually just sit out on the main road and look. But I come here, I don't know, at least 3 days a week and show up and bother my friends at Horror and just walk around because it was something I dreamed. I've been a part of this every single step of the way. And I had a lot to say about the way it was going to be designed and what was important and what was not important. And so, yeah, I feel pride every single day. And I was just, while these interviews were going on, I was standing over on the railing there with Emo, and I said, can you imagine opening night standing on this railing and watching the people come through the main gate? And that's going to be a day that I don't know that I cried when I was giving my talk at the groundbreaking ceremony. I cried. And I made a joke about, my wife told me there's no crying in baseball and all that, but I can't imagine the emotion. And we have some incredibly special things planned for opening day. I mean, people are going to be shocked by it. But every moment of that day will be choreographed, and every moment of that day will be an emotion for me.